Welcome back to the deep dive. I'm always eager to see what Azure's been rolling out, and this week's batch of updates, specifically from July 29th to August 1st, has some real gems.
It certainly does.
We're here to cut through the noise and get you the essential insights you need fast, especially for those of you, deeply involved in the technical day-to-day of Azure.
That's right. Our mission is to take these rapid-fire announcements and distill them into actionable knowledge. The Azure landscape evolves incredibly quickly. It's almost hard to keep up sometimes.
Tell me about it.
So our goal is to provide that shortcut to truly understanding the implications of these changes for your architecture, operations, and security. We're focusing on what's most relevant for a technical audience. No fluff, just the critical details and strategic takeaways.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're kicking things off with what's officially ready for prime time, those production-ready power-ups. Services and features that have officially hit general availability. This means they're stable, fully supported, and ready for your production workloads right now.
Right, these are the ones you can start using today, basically.
These are the updates you can implement immediately.
And what's fascinating here is the immediate impact these GA releases can have. Often simplifying operations or enabling new capabilities that were previously, well, complex or just not available at scale.
Absolutely. First up, we're seeing the Azure File Sync Arc extension reach general availability.
Ah, yes, the Arc integration.
For those of you managing hybrid environments, this is a significant step forward. It's all about enabling the seamless deployment and management of Azure File Sync directly onto your Arc-enabled Windows servers.
And Arc, just to remind everyone, that's your on-prem or multi-cloud servers managed via Azure's control plane.
Exactly.
The key benefit here, though, it goes beyond simply extending file sync. It's really about seamlessly integrating your existing on-premises file infrastructure directly into Azure's unified management plane.
So central control.
Pretty much. Think about the strategic advantage of being able to apply Azure policies, governance, security controls consistently across all your file shares, regardless of where they physically sit.
Right, that consistency is huge.
It effectively bridges that hybrid gap in a deeply practical way. Simplifies compliance, centralizes management, stuff that used to be, a patchwork of different tools and processes.
Makes your hybrid file estate truly feel like one.
Exactly.
Next, we have something that's going to make a lot of sysadmins and anyone responsible for disaster recovery breathe a bit easier. Agentless multi-disk crash consistent backup for Azure VMs.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
The agentless part is already fantastic. No additional software required on those virtual machines. But for our listeners, what's the real-world impact of crash consistent when it comes to recovering a complex VM with multiple disks? Are we talking about avoiding hours of data corruption headaches?
Absolutely, you're spot on. Crash consistent ensures that all the disks attached to your VM are captured at the exact same point in time, almost like the VM just lost power abruptly. Without that, especially with applications writing data across multiple disks, you could easily end up with inconsistent data across those disks.
Which sounds like a nightmare to fix.
It really can be. That leads to difficult, maybe even impossible recovery scenarios where you're spending hours, potentially days, just troubleshooting data integrity issues after you restore. So this feature guarantees your data integrity for complex multi-disk VMs. It fundamentally simplifies recovery operations and reduces your recovery time objectives. It's a huge operational win.
Moving on to networking. Azure Virtual Network Manager is now generally available in the Azure US Government Cloud.
VNet Manager and GovCloud.
Its core function is providing unified control for your connectivity, security, and routing policies. That consistency sounds vital, especially for government deployments where compliance is, well, paramount.
Yes.
But does centralizing that control, say, at the tenant level, ever introduce new challenges for individual teams who might prefer more granular autonomy within their own subscriptions?
That's a great question. And it's always a balance, right? While it does centralize control, the primary goal here is consistent policy enforcement across multiple subscriptions, regions, even tenants.
So consistency trumps local control sometimes.
In large, complex government deployments, this level of automation and guaranteed policy application is crucial. It simplifies auditing and ensures that security postures and connectivity rules are uniformly applied, reduces configuration drift, potential vulnerabilities.
Makes sense.
The trade-off in granular autonomy is often offset by the gains in security, compliance, and just simplified large-scale management. It's really about enabling that enterprise-wide network governance.
Security is always paramount, and Azure Storage just got a significant boost with the GA of the ability to log or block shared access signature, or SAS tokens, based on an expiration policy.
The SAS token control. Very welcome.
I can imagine the collective sigh of relief from security teams on that SAS token update. I've heard horror stories of rogue tokens lurking for months, forgotten but still active.
Exactly. It's that one token someone generated just for a quick test 2 years ago that suddenly becomes a critical security and compliance nightmare.
Right. Happens all the time.
Historically, you could set an upper limit for SAS token validity, but the actual enforcement control was less granular. This change is a huge step in mitigating that common, insidious security risk, the forgotten, long-lived SAS token.
So what can you do now?
Now, administrators have the explicit control to either log or completely block SAS tokens that don't comply with the defined expiration policy.
Okay. Log or block.
Right. It gives you a policy-driven fail-safe, drastically reducing the window for potential abuse and making audit trails far more robust. It's about actively enforcing least privilege and time-bound access.
And finally, for our production-ready updates, we have customer-controlled maintenance for point-to-site VPN gateway, P2S VPN, in virtual WAN.
More control for networking teams.
This offers new flexibility, allowing customers to use configurable maintenance windows to schedule their gateway maintenance. I know network teams always appreciate more control over their operational windows for critical infrastructure like VPNs. What was the pain point this addresses, like, before this feature?
Well, previously, these maintenance events were handled by Microsoft. You'd get notifications, sure, but you didn't have direct control over the precise timing within a broader window.
So maybe not at the best time for your operations.
Exactly. For critical P2S VPN connections within virtual WAN, unexpected brief disruptions, even planned ones, could impact remote users or applications. Now, with configurable maintenance windows, you can align these activities with your internal operational windows or off-peak hours.
Makes sense.
It provides significantly more predictability and minimizes potential disruption, giving you greater control over your remote access and hybrid connectivity services. It's really about operational stability and predictability for your users.
Okay, shifting gears now. Let's talk about the significant cluster of GA updates, specifically within Azure's database services. This is where the rubber meets the road for most applications, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Databases are the backbone of almost all modern applications, right? So any enhancements here directly translate into more robust, performant, and secure data layers that power your core business.
And we're seeing some really impactful changes this week.
We certainly are.
Starting with Azure SQL updates for late July 2025. For the SQL developers out there, 2 notable additions are now fully available. We have the new Unister intrinsic function, which is for defining Unicode string literals using Unicode encoding values directly in a string. This sounds pretty specific.
It is, yeah. It's a bit niche, but it's powerful, especially if you're working with diverse global data sets or specific Unicode characters that might be difficult to represent directly in standard string literals.
Okay. For complex character sets.
Exactly. It ensures precise handling of multi-byte characters, avoids encoding headaches, potential data corruption. It's about guaranteeing data integrity at the character level.
Got it. And the other SQL update.
And in a welcome nod to ANSI SQL standards, they've added the concatenation operator, the double pipe year.
Instead of just using plus star.
Right. This provides a direct alternative to using the plus operator for concatenating character strings. While plus works, is often preferred for string concatenation because it avoids potential type coercion issues that can sometimes pop up when plus is used in a mixed numeric and string context.
Makes code clearer, maybe more portable.
Yeah, improves code readability and portability for many developers. It's the standard way in ANSI SQL.
Okay. For our MySQL users, this next one is exciting. Accelerated logs are now available for the general purpose tier in Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server.
Yes, this is big news for MySQL Flexible Server users.
Previously, these significant performance benefits were exclusive to the business critical tier. That's a big shift in capability, right?
This is genuinely transformative for MySQL users on the general purpose tier. Let's remember, Business Critical is Azure's premium, higher cost offering for MySQL.
Right, for the really demanding stuff.
Exactly. Designed for the most demanding, mission-critical workloads needing super low latency. Accelerated logs significantly reduce I/O latency by optimizing write operations to the transaction log.
Which was the main reason some might have needed business critical.
For many applications, yes. The business critical tier was overkill and too expensive just to get that I/O performance boost. Now, those high-throughput, latency-sensitive workloads can run on the more cost-effective general-purpose tier.
So it sort of democratizes performance.
That's a great way to put it. It democratizes performance for a broader range of use cases, effectively giving you more bang for your buck without having to over-provision.
And still on MySQL, you can now configure the backup interval for Azure Database for MySQL automated backups.
More control over backups. Always good.
This gives you more granular control over your backup strategy, which sounds great for meeting specific R portos.
The benefit here is pretty clear. It optimizes the backup process by letting you introduce more frequent snapshots.
And more frequent snapshots mean faster restores.
Precisely. It significantly reduces the number of transaction logs that need to be replayed during a restore operation, which directly impacts your restore speed and recovery time objectives, your RTO.
So for critical databases, that's key.
Absolutely. Reducing that recovery window is paramount, and this feature puts that control directly in your hands. It's about fine-tuning your resilience strategy.
Last for our database GA segment, we have Azure Database for PostgreSQL Entra authentication for Power BI Desktop.
Connecting Power BI using Entra ID.
This means you can now connect to your PostgreSQL databases from Power BI Desktop using Microsoft Entra ID authentication. What were the challenges or limitations for Power BI users connecting to PostgreSQL that this addresses?
Well, previously, connections often relied on less centralized methods. Think standard SQL user password authentication.
Which can be a pain to manage at scale.
Exactly. Cumbersome to manage, security challenges with credential rotation, auditing, all that fun stuff. What's important about this new method is how it dramatically simplifies access management and enhances security.
How so?
By leveraging your organization's broader Entra-based authentication strategies, you get centralized control, single sign-on capabilities, and just a more streamlined, secure connection experience for your data analysis in Power BI Desktop.
So it aligns database access with your main corporate identity system.
Precisely. It aligns your database access with your corporate identity management. Much cleaner.
All right, let's peek into the future. We're now moving into the sneak peeks, those exciting new features currently in public preview.
The crystal ball segment.
This offers a glimpse into future capabilities that you can start experimenting with today, maybe even shaking what they'll become.
Public previews are always a fantastic opportunity. You get to understand where the platform is heading and provide that early feedback that can actually shape the final product. It's your chance to influence the roadmap.
Indeed. First up is new tagging features in Azure Confidential Ledger. Tags in this service are designed to serve as secondary keys, really enhancing data organization and retrieval within your collections. Why is this significant for a service that deals with tamper-proof data?
This adds a crucial new layer of granularity for highly sensitive data. Azure Confidential Ledger provides that immutable, verifiable log, right?
Yeah.
Which is critical for audit trails and compliance.
Okay.
Now, users can assign up to 5 tags per transaction. This isn't just about simple categorization. It allows for more complex, multidimensional queries and analysis of your ledger entries.
So you could search or filter based on these tags.
Exactly. For instance, you could tag transactions by project, department, specific data classifications, whatever makes sense. Makes it much easier to manage, search, and audit your data without compromising its integrity. It's about enhancing the utility of those tamper-proof records.
For those looking to bring their on-premises SQL Server instances into the Azure ecosystem, there's a new SQL Server database migration experience in Azure Arc.
Simplifying SQL migrations via Arc.
This aims to streamline the entire migration journey, from assessment to provisioning to cut overall within a single Azure portal experience. That sounds like a long-awaited consolidation.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Historically, migrating SQL Server to Azure involves several distinct steps, often using different tools and interfaces for assessment, then target provisioning, then the actual data migration itself.
Yeah, it could be a bit disjointed.
Very much so. What's fascinating here is how it consolidates that entire workflow. This unified experience, powered by Azure Database Migration Service, guides you through assessing your existing databases for Azure compatibility.
Checks if they'll work okay in Azure.
Right. Then helps you provision the right Azure SQL target, and finally handles the cutover itself. It simplifies a traditionally complex multi-tool process into one cohesive, guided experience. That's a big win for accelerating hybrid migrations.
And back to our PostgreSQL users, we have the public preview of Azure Database for PostgreSQL cascading read replicas. This is a powerful new capability. Can you maybe paint a picture of a scenario where this would be a game changer for a developer or architect?
Sure. The core concept here is you can now create additional read replicas, not just from your primary database, but also from an existing read replica.
Okay, replicas of replicas.
Essentially, yeah. Think of a scenario.
Yeah.
You have a primary database handling writes, one read replica serving a reporting application. Okay. And now you need a separate, isolated replica for, say, a data science team running complex analytical queries.
Right, you don't want them hitting the reporting replica or the primary.
Exactly. Instead of putting more load on the primary or directly on the reporting replica, you can now spin up a cascading replica from that existing reporting replica.
Ah, interesting.
This significantly enhances scalability for read-heavy workloads. It offloads the primary, can reduce latency for localized reads, and provides way more flexibility in how you distribute read operations without putting additional strain on your primary database. It's a really powerful architectural pattern for global-scale, read-intensive applications.
Now, sometimes good things must come to an end, or rather, evolve into something new. We have one retirement announcement in this batch of updates.
The changing of the guard.
It's important to be aware of these planned transitions for your long-term planning.
Indeed. We're seeing the retirement of Azure Dedicated HSM. The successor service for this will be Azure Cloud HSM.
So it's an evolution, not just an end.
Exactly. It's important to frame it that way. It's a natural progression as Azure's HSM offerings mature, with Cloud HSM taking the reins. It offers similar security guarantees, but potentially with more flexibility or maybe updated underlying technology.
And crucially, for anyone currently using dedicated HSM, what's the timeline for support? People need to know that.
Good point. Microsoft has stated they will provide full support for all existing Azure Dedicated HSM customers until July 34, 2028.
2028, okay, that's quite a long runway.
It is. It gives organizations a clear, extended window to plan and execute their migration to the new Cloud HSM service. A very generous time frame, which is excellent for planning and minimizing disruption for critical security infrastructure.
So after digging into all these updates, wow, that was a lot. What stands out as the overarching theme, and what does this all mean for our listeners navigating the evolving world of Azure?
Yeah, synthesizing the breadth of these updates, it's clear Azure continues its, well, relentless pace of innovation. It touches on fundamental aspects of hybrid infrastructure, security, data management.
Kind of covers the whole stack.
It really does.
Yeah.
We're seeing a definite push for more granular control, like with the maintenance windows or backup intervals. Enhanced security features like that SaaS token policy are huge. And significant performance boosts, like accelerated logs for MySQL general purpose, are making higher performance more accessible.
So, more control, better security, better performance.
That's the gist. These continuous improvements significantly impact how you design, deploy, and manage your cloud infrastructure. It encourages you, the listener, to think critically about how these new features can be integrated into your existing and future projects to optimize performance, cost, and security, especially as you continue to blend your on-premises and cloud resources.
Thinking about all these updates, which new general availability feature offers the most immediate benefit to your current projects, or which public preview are you most eager to explore for your future plans?
Good question to ponder.
Food for thought as you continue building on Azure. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We encourage you to keep exploring these topics and stay tuned for more insights next week.